Philadelphia Phillies baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
It's amazing how one swing could put a tough loss in the rearview mirror. One swing can give an offense the jolt it needs to pile on runs the rest of the night. The Phillies, on a night when they needed extra offensive support, got it, and then some, from all parts of the lineup. One swing turned a loss into a win, and it came on just the fifth pitch of the game. Just think about how important that first cup of coffee is to the morning to get your day off on the right note. Well, think about that, and then think about Jimmy Rollins and his ability to hit the long ball for the Phils. That's what happened last night. The Phillies will take that again tonight as they get set for Game 3 against the Astros. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. You know, Jimmy Rollins has done some spectacular things during the course of his major league career. And as we've always said, when the red light goes on, he can perform better than most in the National League.
Yeah, and he can jumpstart a game, Tom, like he did last night. You're on the road. You're coming off a tough loss. Everybody's thinking about it a little bit. And before you know it, Jimmy Rollins hits the ball out of the ballpark, and you have the lead in the game. That's just the way that he is. Here's the big home run that he hit the other day in Philadelphia in that huge game the Phillies won. But the home run last night, right there, it's 1-0. And the Phillies are on their way to a really good win last night. Look at the all-time Phillies ranking and where Jimmy Rollins is right now. And this guy is far from finished. He's going to put up a lot of numbers before he finishes playing for the Phillies.
And he is zeroing in on 200 home runs, which would put him in a pretty impressive category. 200 home runs and 400 or more stolen bases, plus 2,000 or more hits. And the list goes on and on and on. So he'll be leading it off for the Phils in just a few minutes against the Houston Astros. Kyle Kendrick has been so good for the Phillies. He's making his 22nd start. And Dallas Keuchel will be making his 14th start of the year for the Houston Astros. Well, the Phillies fans who have come to Houston, they've got a chance to enjoy, at least for last night's ball game, a victory and an impressive run of offense. That's been the case since the 1st of August. We'll see if it continues with the lineups and the first pitch when we get back. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. By Citizens Bank, we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross. We're creating a more coordinated healthcare system that is built around you. Independence Blue Cross, changing the game. Phillies come in one game over the 500 mark, and they also find themselves 3 games back in the race for the final wild card spot So Charlie Manuel's team is right where they were when they arrived in Houston, and hoping for a little bit more movement in the standings as they wind down this series. Let's take a look at Charlie's starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at shortstop is Jimmy Rollins. Kevin Franzen, the third baseman, bats second. Chase Utley hits third, followed by Ryan Howard and John Mayberry. Ty Wigginton starts in left field with the left-hander on the mound tonight. Dominic Brown is in right field batting seventh. Eric Kratz hits eighth. And batting ninth at pitching is Kyle Kendrick. And they'll face 24-year-old left-hander Dallas Keuchel, who is 1-7 on the year with an ERA of 5.35.
You look at the numbers on him, nothing really jumps out at you like you can't hit this guy, but we'll see what happens. 33 walks, 31 strikeouts, and 76 hits in 72 third innings. So none of those numbers are impressive. They say he has some ability, though, and they think he has a chance to develop into a decent pitcher. He's going to go with his sinking fastball, 85 to 90, throw curve, cutter, changeup, and that's his record in this ballpark. And that earned run average to pitch here, that's not too bad. Let's go right to the Nissan Keys to tonight's game. Charlie Manuel's club playing indoors, of course, on a nice night in Houston. Well, if they see if they can get another good one from the guy they call KK, Kyle Kendrick, and score, because saw what happened here in the first game of the series when they shut it down. Last night they scored and won the ballgame.
Jimmy Rollins will lead it off, and he'll take outside, so we're underway, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes. Rollins with 5 leadoff home runs now here in 2012, and 42 for his career. And he chops that one back toward the middle. Lowry can't get to it. It'll be a leadoff single. Well, it's not the same jolt of a leadoff as a leadoff home run, but it'll do.
Yeah, and he is a table setter, and Jimmy gets on. He didn't hit it very hard, but they were playing him to pull, and he kind of dribbled it up the middle, and Lowry couldn't get to it.
So he's aboard. Kevin Franzen is now the hitter. Franzen moves up to the 2-hole with the left-hander on the mound. Juan Pierre, who was doing such a fabulous job as the 2-hole hitter against right-handers, has the night off. Franzen starting for the 3rd consecutive day. He's 3 for 9 so far in the series. There's one. Well, talk about a guy that's put together one heck of a season. And not playing every day, but starting to play more and more.
Yeah, left-hander tonight, so perfect night to play Ty Wigginton. It's a very shallow left field here. You don't have to worry about covering a whole lot of ground when you play left field in this ballpark. You turn around a lot of time and hear the clang behind you as it goes off that scoreboard, and it does clang when it hits that thing. Boy, especially in BP when there's nobody in this place, the noise that makes out there is amazing. There it is, that scoreboard area right there, and then up in this area, the Crawford boxes, that's a home run.
21 feet high from the warning track to the top of the scoreboard. And the first pitch to Franzen. Take it inside. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
Franzen works out in that 2-hole even though he's right-handed because he can move the ball, and he'll hit the ball in the hole to right field, and that's what you'd like to see out of a 2-hole hitter.
Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Marianne Shivers of Turnersville, New Jersey. Phillies hit a home run at tonight's ball game, and Marianne will win $100. Rollins leads off first. And there's a strike to Franzen. 2 balls and 1 strike, the count to Kevin Franzen.
Great hit and run count if they want to do something early in the game. Don't know this pitcher that much. So there's Dan Iassogna behind the plate, and the rest of the umpiring crew. They don't know this pitcher that much, so maybe they don't want to run on a guy that could walk the 2-hole hitter.
Well, they're going to throw over to chase Rollins back. He does not have a big lead.
You're right, and if you're going to hit and run, you don't worry about the lead. You're just trying to get in motion.
Well, one final from today. Boy, did the Pirates have to hold on to that one. Joel Hanrahan came on and got the bases loaded. Got the final out with the bases loaded. Pirates won at 7-6 over the Cubs.
They need a win.
There goes Rollins, and the pitch taken way outside. Castro, no chance to throw him out. And that is stolen base number 28 for Rollins. And
if it was hit and run, you'll never know because of that pitch. The hitter is told they must protect the runner on a hit and run. That thing was so far outside and so slow that Franzen recognized there's no chance a catcher can throw Jimmy out on this. See how slow it is? It's way outside. It's a tough pitch to handle. He's looking in, though. That was hit and run because of the 2-1 count.
Now a good hitter's count with the 3-1. Franzen still trying to get it over the right side if he can. And he chops it to the left side. Dominguez looked Rollins back. One away.
Yeah, that count, he just knows that that's not a good at bat. He must have thrown him something slow that turned it over, because he just rolled that thing over weakly to third when you want to hit the ball the other way. It may have been a changeup. It was kind of hanging out over the plane trying to dive, it looked like. Yeah, you don't want to pull the ball in that spot.
So with one away, here's Chase Utley. Utley 258 with 10 home runs and 32 runs batted in. He is 3 for 8 in the series. That ball gets away momentarily from Castro, and it's 1-0.
Hey, Jimmy Rollins, this is a great time to try and steal third, but it's tough when you have a left-handed hitter up. Catcher has a good shot at you unless you just pick the right pitch to run on.
See what Utley's numbers are in the last 10 games. Now, he's had trouble with left-handers this year. He's hitting just .209 against them. In fact, Utley and Ryan Howard both have struggled against left-handers this season. 1 ball, no strikes, the count. Rollins goes. The pitch is taken inside. No throw. And Rollins not only has stolen second, but now he has stolen third. And even though FRANDSEN couldn't get him over, Rollins is over at third with less than 2 outs.
This is a great job by Jimmy to read what was going on with the young left-hander. Kind of forgot about him, and he's really slow. Look how slow he is at the plate there. And even though it was a fastball, no chance to make. Good idea not to even throw it. Infield into the first inning in this place.
It's interesting.
It's all of that.
Tony DeFrancisco is the manager of the Astros. 2-0 the count to Utley. And Utley takes inside. It's 3-0.
First inning. I know Kyle Kendrick's been good,
but the Astros have scored runs the last couple of weeks too.
Normally this is the thing you should see a team do if you're facing Gibson or Koufax. Carlton.
Well, his teammates did put Ace over top of his locker.
That's right. So maybe that's what they're thinking.
Utley takes it side, ball 4. So the Phillies have runners on first and third with 1 man down. And here comes Doug Brokaw.
In comes the parade.
Doug Brokaw is waiting for Castro to come out before he has his conversation with Keuchel. Keuchel's 24 years old. He's out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's a 7th round pick in 2009 out of the University of Arkansas, who made his major league debut on the 17th of June. And in his first 3 starts, he pitched very well.
Numbers were good.
In fact, he only allowed 3 earned runs in his first 20 innings.
His 3rd time up with him. He had a complete game this year. Now they'll back up. Well, I better be careful.
That complete game is his only victory of the season in the big leagues. With Ryan Howard up, they will play back. Utley's on first, Rollins on third. Phillies threatening here in the first inning. Rollins is really dancing off that third base bag. Ryan Howard with 44 runs batted in. He's tied for 8th in the National League in RBIs in the month of September with the guy over at third base, Jimmy Rollins. They both have 10. He chops the 1-0 pitch foul into the Astros dugout.
Yeah, nothing like jumping out early on the road. Get a run or 2 in the first inning. Ryan, really good numbers with runners in scoring position, especially since the 4th of August.
Well, scoring early is part of the reason why the Phillies are 16-5 since the 23rd of August. Towering pop-up left side. That's not going to be deep enough to score Rollins. Lowry, the shortstop, is under it, and he makes the catch. Well, the Astros were giving the Phillies a run, but they'll now have to drive in that run with 2 outs.
Yeah, he's trying to hit the ball in the air there because he knows if he hits it on the ground, they have a chance to double him up and then not get the run that way because of the fact that Ryan's not running very well. So he's probably thinking, I want to hit a fly ball here if I can. Got under it and popped it up.
Mayberry, who's hit in 5 straight ball games, has his average up to 260. 14 home runs, 46 runs batted in. He has been gradually climbing his batting average up to where it is tonight. He has 4 hits and 4 RBIs so far in the series. I don't think I've ever seen this before, but Altuve is playing him behind second base, or just about behind second base.
Well, when you have a soft toss and lefty like this and you pull as much as Mayberry does, I guess that's what they figure, that they're going to leave all this area to the right open in here and just play him up the middle and take their chances that he's going to be early on this guy and not late. A lot of it will have to do with the pitcher who's on the mound.
Fastball low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes to Mayberry. Mayberry 5 for his last 7 with runners in scoring position. Well, if you didn't know Doug Brokaw was the pitching coach coming into the series, you know now. There goes Utley. Pitch is taken low. Castro fakes the throw, and Utley's got a stolen base. 8th stolen base of the year for Utley, and it's the 3rd one of the inning for the Phillies.
And now you have 2 runners in scoring position and no force.
Keuchel steps off. Keuchel, after his last outing, said, "This is the first time I've felt good in about 3 starts, so I was happy with what I did." Went 4 innings, he allowed 1 run on 6 base hits. The command has been an issue for him. In his last outing, 82 pitches, 46 strikes, 36 balls, and he just walked Mayberry. It's the 2nd walk of the inning, and the bases are loaded for Wigginton.
Now Castro has to do the walk out there because Brokaw's already been out there once. There's the ball strike ratio, and that's not real good.
No.
Well, you see he has more walks and strikeouts that we showed in a scouting report and stats before the game, 33 to 31.
Now the story's a little different in the minor leagues. He walked 104 in his 487 innings during his career and 318 strikeouts. Well, Wigginton's now the batter with the bases loaded.
Wigginton had a good year in this ballpark playing for Houston.
He had a great month of September filling in for Carlos Lee one year. And he takes a breaking ball for a strike. 0-1 the count. I think he had 12 home runs in 1 month, in the month of September.
That's a good month
for the Astros while playing left field.
Overall, only hit 207. But I can remember him hurting the Phillies in this yard.
0-1 the count to Wigginton. Checks his swing. They appeal. No swing, says Dal Scott, the crew chief. Wigginton 233 with 11 home runs. There's Kendrick loosening his arms.
Next time out, 47% fastballs for Keuchel, and then 21% changeup, 20% curveballs.
Fly ball center field. That should do it for the inning. Justin Maxwell comes galloping in, and he puts it away. So the Phillies load the bases but do not score. A single, 2 walks, and they leave 3. On to the bottom of the 1st. It's the Phillies nothing, and the Astros coming up. Putting together one heck of a second half of the season. Back and forth from rotation, the bullpen was the first half of the 2012 for Kyle Kendrick. Dominating and stingy on the mound is his current run through July, August, and into September. A career-high 8 strikeouts and a strong 7-inning performance the last time out has added to his much-needed boost to the Phillies rotation. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Changing the game. Well, the game changer certainly has been good. Kyle Kendrick will get set to pitch the bottom of the first inning here for the Phillies with a record of 9-10 and an ERA of 3.83. He's making his 22nd start of the year. And you know what? The way the first half went for Kyle Kendrick, I don't think anybody anticipated he would make 22 starts here in 2012. But he has been very good. In fact, he's been one of the best pitchers in the National League since the All-Star break.
Yeah, and he's using that fastball changeup mix. Last time out, he threw 56% fastballs and 40% changeups. Unbelievable the way he has gone to that and how successful he's been with it.
Well, he'll face Jose Altuve to lead things off. Altuve's had a good series against the Phillies. He's 5 for 10, overall hitting .293 with 5 home runs and 33 runs batted in. So the Astros will come to bat here at the bottom of the first in a scoreless game. The Phillies did threaten in the top of the first.
Yeah, they left something out there in that inning. They sure had a chance to score and didn't.
Los Astros on Spanish Heritage Night here at Minute Maid Park. Ground ball foul past Dave Clark. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Altuve. Altuve had 3 hits in last night's ball game. He leads the Astros in multi-hit games this year. And quite honestly, he's their best player.
Yeah.
The liner to left field, that'll drop for a base hit. He just reached the bat out and poked it into left, so he's aboard. He's hit it 5 straight. Now let's take a look at who follows him in the lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Fernando Martinez is followed by Brett Wallace and Justin Maxwell. Judd Lowry, the shortstop, will bat 5th. Matt Dominguez, the third baseman, 6th. Jason Castro's the catcher. He'll hit 7th. JD Martinez bats 8th. And Keuchel bats 9th. Fernando Martinez has had a pretty good month of September. In 21 at-bats, he's 9 for 21. Altuve goes. The pitch is grounded to second. They'll get 1 at first. So by running, they avoid the double play. 4-3 on the putout. Yeah. Brett Wallace is coming up.
And they feel Martinez a pull hitter, so they kept Utley at home, thankfully, and Jimmy Rollins covering. So the side of the infield was covered there.
Brett Wallace 1 for his last 16, overall hitting .263 for Houston. And Kendrick delivers a strike. It's 0-1.
Wallace is definitely a pull hitter, so Jimmy Rollins is trying to come in behind Altuve a little bit at second base so he doesn't get a free run to steal third the way Jimmy did in the first inning.
Jimmy's got a whole lot of dirt going from his letters down to his knees.
Yeah, it didn't take long.
The 0-1 pitch to Wallace. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Just to give you some of the numbers on Kendrick. Last 6 starts, 5-1 with an ERA of 1.48. It's part of a resurgent Phillies staff, whose starters in the last 31 games are 16-5 with an ERA of 3.13. That earned run average is the lowest in the National League during that time. And that's a month of games.
Pretty well, and look at what they've done in that month of games. You pitch and you catch the ball, you will win a lot of games. And early in the year, they didn't catch the ball very well, and their bullpen wasn't very good. So they lost a lot of games.
1-2 the count to Wallace. Trying to come inside to him. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Has such confidence in his changeup, hasn't used it much, and this is a perfect time to throw it to a guy like this who's just trying to pull all the time. Throw that down and away down dead fish to him, and he can get him.
It looked as if Eric Kratz was calling for that changeup.
We'll know with a runner at second. You know, it's hard to tell the signs.
2-2 the count. And there it is, outside, 3-2. Ball tail just a little too much.
Yeah, but it was a good thing to go to. 2-2. As good command as he's had of it lately. You think that would have been a pitch he could have fished for.
Maxwell's on deck. No, they go after him again with a changeup. He figured, why not? And he's got his first strikeout.
But see, normally, and we talk about it all the time, a 2-2 changeup is a trap pitch because guys don't normally. You have to want to throw, or you have to be able to throw on 3-2. You throw on 2-2, and you walk into that with an off-speed pitch, and then a lot of guys have to throw a fastball there. That changeup's so good for him now. He backs it up with no problem.
With 2 outs, Maxwell has been one of the hottest hitters for the Astros. He's hit in 8 consecutive games. He hit a home run last night. But he's up with a runner at second. And he fouls the first fastball away. It's 0-1.
Kyle's really uses changeup effectively on right-handed hitters too.
It'd be nice for everybody in society to have the ability to have a pep talk like he had a couple months ago. And to soak it in the way he did, because he took everything to heart, and he certainly has used every piece of advice he was given during that pep talk. And there's that changeup Wheels was talking about to a right-handed batter.
Yeah, the reason you say you don't like to throw it normally, right-handers don't throw it to right-handed hitters, and lefties don't throw it to left because it's down and in. And down and in is a danger zone.
Wheels, since the All-Star break, Kyle Kendrick has the 3rd lowest ERA in the National League. Cliff Lee and Cole Hamels are in the top 10 too. But Kendrick is at 2.34. Medlin, he has been lights out for the Braves. He leads the way, and then Stultz for San Diego. The 2.34. 0-2 pitch. Down and away, 1-2.
Well, that goes along with that graphic right there. Goes along with your point about how good their starters are.
Saw Jeff Samardzija on that list. He's one of the only bright spots, one of the few bright spots for the Cubs this year. And some of their young guys have been entertaining to watch.
Castro's swinging the bat again.
Maxwell hits it over to third, a foul ball. It remains 1-2. So Altuve goes back to second.
What Kyle's done with that changeup is come up with a swing and a miss pitch. And he really didn't have a swing and a miss pitch. He was a contact pitcher. And he's had a swing and a miss for a strikeout already in this inning. He can get another one in.
Well, that time he decided to go with his first cutter of the inning. And it ran a little high, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. See the difference in the cutter with Kendrick. It's at 88 miles an hour. It'll be 87, 88. The fastball will be 90, 91.
This is where he'll throw a changeup a lot of times in full hitters on 2-2.
Well, Maxwell was right on that changeup.
Yeah, well, let's see. It came down and in. But luckily it came way in.
Well, the percentage of use for Kendrick. The cutter is still second, but that's because of how much he used it in the first half of the year at 27%.
Yeah, those percentages have been rapidly changing between changeup and cutter.
Again, 2-2. Pitch number 17 in the inning for Kendrick. And a fastball a little high, 3-2.
Doesn't have real command with his sinker right now. He's trying that comeback sinker a few times. Left-handed hitters and right-handed. He's missing with it.
Line drive toward left field. It's deep, and it is gone. 2-run home run for Maxwell. And the Astros take the 2-0 lead here at the bottom of the first.
We talked about changeup to a right-handed hitter. If you make a mistake with it, it comes down and in. It comes headed towards the barrel. And I think that's what happened there. Well, you don't see many pitchers do this, but he's been effective with it lately. Oh, yeah. Look at it come running in. That's a hit me pitch, and he did.
And with the short porch out there in left field, it turned out to be a surefire home run. And it's the 16th home run of the year for Justin Maxwell. Nobody on, 2-0 Astros. Jed Lowrie is the batter. And Lowrie takes a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. Maxwell has thrived in this yard. And he's getting a chance to play every day now for Houston.
Yeah, he has some power.
Lowrie 253, 14 home runs, 38 runs batted in. And he pops it up. Left side of the infield, Rollins is over. And he calls out FRANDSEN. The side is retired. 2 runs, though, on a 2-run bomb by that guy right there, Justin Maxwell. We go to the second with the Astros on top 2-0. The top of the second, Dominic Brown will lead things off. And speaking of Dominic, let's take a look at our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast.
Had a split finger fastball last night and hit this baby a long way into the second deck as Phillies continue to pile on or add on runs last night. One of the reasons why they were able to win the game tonight. They had a big shot to score early and did.
Cold Hard Blast brought to you by Frost Brew Coors Light. Dominic overall hitting .242, making his 43rd start of the season. That ball last night showed his potential, his power potential. And that second deck, that's a long ways. Takes a breaking pitch for strike 2. It's 0-2. It's the only hit Dominic has in the series. One ball, 2 strikes the count. Outside, 2-2. Keuchel down to the minor leagues this year was 6-4 with an ERA of 3.90. He allowed 92 hits in 92 1/3 innings. His time in the minor leagues was spent all in AAA. And that's inside, 3-2. His motion reminds me of somebody. I can't think of who it is. Eric Kratz is on deck. Over to second base, not hit that hard. Altuve throws out Brown. One away. Eric Kratz is due up. Let's check in with Murph. Murph, take it away.
All right, thank you very much, guys. And Eric Kratz, of course, getting the start tonight. Charlie Manuel telling us before the game, just not ready for Carlos Ruiz to be able to play back-to-back games. In fact, it'll probably be that way throughout the rest of this season. But, Charlie sat back and he said, yeah, sure, you want Carlos Ruiz in your lineup all the time, but if you can't, the combination that he's had this year between Ruiz and Eric Kratz and Brian Schneider has been very productive. They've combined for 161 hits on the season, 25 home runs, 92 RBIs, and they've also scored 68 runs. So getting that out of your catcher's position is a lot of production. So Charlie said, all things being considered, it's a pretty good group of guys that he's got out there.
He also talked about Raul Ibanez when he discussed the catcher's numbers. The Phillies lost Ibanez to free agency to the Yankees, so they had to replace 80-plus RBIs. So essentially the catchers have replaced Ibanez's RBIs, and Mayberry has replaced what Ruiz's RBIs were last year. If you're going to go production for production, it was kind of interesting to listen to Charlie talk about that.
It was. Obviously there are power positions out there on the field, your corner outfielders being one of them, and the Phillies weren't getting that kind of production. But when you add in a catcher's position that's going to drive in 92 runs in a season, you're going to be able to take that every season out there.
Well, it certainly has been good. Kratz has the count 2-1. He hits it hard to Dominguez at third. And he throws him out for the second out. So 2 outs, and Kyle Kendrick is coming up. I think Murph is going to have to go to the other side of the stadium in a moment because he's in the sun on half of the stadium now. Half his face is in the sun, and now the other side has to get burned a little bit.
Yeah. First 2 games here, Murph was cloudy when the game started. You didn't notice it, huh?
Yeah, it's coming through pretty nice right now. It doesn't take me long to get burnt, so you're right. I'll turn over in a minute or two.
All right, Murph, thanks, bud. Kyle Kendrick has the count 1 ball and no strikes with 2 outs here in the second. It is remarkable, though, about the catcher's numbers. 43 doubles. 43 doubles between the Phillies catchers.
Yeah, offensively they have. Well, overall they've done a good job. Defensively too.
Kendrick floats that one down the right field line. That's going to drop to a base hit. And his new hitting style has produced a couple hits in his last handful of starts.
The low hands.
Toyota Major League Scoreboard. Atlanta has defeated Washington for his second consecutive day. 5-4 the final. So that means Atlanta is now 6.5 games out of first place.
Yeah, they're making a little bit of a run out, but more than anything, I think they're trying to make a statement for later if they meet.
That's a good point. They're also trying to solidify the first wild card spot, making sure that they've assured themselves a spot because it was so difficult after a 9-18 September last year to get into the postseason.
Yeah, you look at it and they're in great shape, but when you went through what they went through last year, there's always that thing in the back of your mind, probably like, oh, we can't let up.
0-1 the count to Rollins. Rollins singled his first time up, was left over at third. Phillies down 2-0 here in the second. Justin Maxwell's 2-run home run is the difference right now. Speaking of the Atlanta Braves, they will pay one more visit during the regular season to Citizens Bank Park on Friday, September 21st. They'll be in town for a 3-game series. Tickets are available at Phillies.com. Don't forget, fans 14 and under will get that Total Cole Hamels action figurine on the final game of that series. Rollins takes low, 1-2.
The Phillies came out really aggressive in that first inning, running the bases, doing some things well, got nothing out of it. And then gave up a quick 2. So you have to stay after it here tonight because you fall asleep in this place.
Hamels was talking about that last night, how impressive it was that the Phillies were able to put together the offense they did behind him. He gave up 4 runs. But they just kept on adding on in last night's game.
When you play Houston down here first of all, they got a lot of young guys that are loosey-goosey, and they're just trying to find their way in the major leagues. There's no pressure on them, and they're just up there swinging. Now, their bullpen's been a little bit different story, very inconsistent. But the offensive players, they're scoring some runs in this series because hey, they're just having fun.
The ball just missed off the inside corner. Now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's changed so many faces here, too. They have so many different guys here that are having a chance. What they're trying to do is impress management to say, well, maybe we can use them next year. Take a shot.
Well, Justin Maxwell certainly has put himself in position to have a job next year. Brett Wallace still up in the air. That ball's hit to third. Dominguez is trying to impress not only offensively but defensively. He's able to make the play to wrap up the second. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left for the Phillies. We've played 1.5, and the Astros lead it by 2. To take advantage of new low pricing and see every remaining Phillies out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Phillies.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Phillies fans were out in bigger numbers for today's ball game. Just watching batting practice and watching all of them lined up behind the Phillies dugout and comparing it to the Astros side of the field. I always talk about how well this team travels and how well their fans travel. We go to places, though, where folks are transplanted Philadelphians. And they get a chance to follow their favorite team. Darren Ruff, here's his batting practice. Watch this shot. Look how far this ball goes. That's a long home run.
Well, remember yesterday, stay right there. That's the spot where I was showing where he hit the one yesterday.
Yeah.
When he hit that, like that old gas pump out there. And that one was just to the left of it.
That was well over 400 feet onto the concourse. Matt Dominguez leads it off here in the second. The fastball from Kendrick.
Well, they're in a little bit of a catch-22 right now. They have Darren Ruff here, but they're trying to win the wild card, trying to get to a wild card. So you really feel they need to play their veteran guys.
Charlie talked about that today. He's been very pleased with Ty Wigginton out in left field, and he just feels like the experience that Wigginton brings to a game is outweighing the opportunity to put Darren Ruff into a ball game.
Yeah, when you face a left-hander, they're using Wigginton.
A line drive foul. Now, he said that he may change that in the days to come, but at least for the time being.
Yeah, there could come a point if you don't get where you want to get, that you have some games left and they'll play more. rough, Will. But that's what I mean about a catch-22. You don't want it to get to that point.
1-2 the count to Dominguez. 298 hitter with 4 home runs. Oh, he hits that one right back through the middle.
I thought that had
it. Leadoff single brings Jason Castro to the plate. Don't just watch the game on TV. Get the total game experience with Comcast Sportsnet on TV and online. Get updated stats, scores from around the league, and news from our team of insiders. Check out In-Game Live now at csnphilly.com. Jason Castro did not play in yesterday's ball game. He continues to battle a sore right knee. It's the same knee that cost him a full season. He was on the disabled list with a sore knee this year. Hitting .261 with a couple home runs. They do feel that he still has a chance to be an everyday catcher. Former #1 pick out of Stanford. And it's no balls and 1 strike to him. Phillies play the infield for 2. And that's going to float into left field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Dominguez is around second. He'll stop there. First and second with nobody out. That ball was not hit that hard, but Castro fought it off for a single.
Yeah, they're dictating the tempo of this game right now, or the Astros. Phillies have to do something to turn it around early. But right now the Astros are the team getting the base hits, the base runners, and they've cashed in a little bit. Now they're at the bottom of the order. You can see your way out of this. You can get this 8-hole hitter out without damage.
Tony DeFrancesco starting J.D. Martinez tonight. Martinez swings at the first pitch, and it's 0-1. Martinez began the year as one of the everyday outfielders for the Astros. Hit .282 in April. Things were going well for him. But then the calendar flipped to May. And he hit .192 in the month of May. Lost playing time, lost confidence. September's been better for him, but he hasn't been able to put a hold on an outfield position like he had at the end of last year and the beginning of this season.
We were here last year in September. He was hitting bullet after bullet. We thought, oh boy, they have themselves something.
Two balls and 1 strike to count to Martinez. Kyle just trying to find something. Not as sharp right now as he was or has been. That one's hit right back through the middle. Another base hit. Dominguez is being held at third as Mayberry comes up with it. And the bases will be loaded. The ball gets away, but Kendrick is there to back it up. Bases loaded, nobody out, and Keuchel, the pitcher, is coming up.
Yeah, he's not making good pitches right now, and he's getting hurt a little bit. We're going to come out for a little chat, and what you're trying to do right now is minimize the damage. You have the bases loaded, nobody out. You think you're going to give up something, but don't give up a lot.
Yeah, Keuchel's coming up. He's 1 for 16 with 10 strikeouts.
Yeah, what they would like to do is probably just have him strike out as opposed to hit him with double play. They meaning the Astros.
Ken Iassogna goes out to the mound to break up the conversation. It's a long one between Rich Doobie and Kyle Kendrick. Astros won the first game after the Phillies had a 4-1 lead. And last night the Phils jumped out to a 4-0 lead and never looked back. They did give up a run in the first. It got to be 5-3, but the Phils won 12-6. So now Keuchel. Franz, the third baseman, is even with the bag. The first pitch low. It's 1-0. Started him off with a fastball just a little outside and low. See how the offense is aligned right now. Dominguez has not run well over at third.
Yeah, they're set up for a double play. They gladly give up one here for 2 outs. You know, when you're in the second inning and you're already down 2-0, unless there's just some kind of dribble hit at the first or third baseman where there's no chance for 2, you don't come home, because you have a chance then to have a really big inning with the top of the order coming up.
There's a strike to the knees, and it's 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike to count. Kendrick's up to 34 pitches now with nobody out here in the second. This is low, and it's 3-1. I mentioned he just doesn't have the same command that we've seen in recent starts.
Not even close.
3-1 the count to Keuchel. He takes a hack. 3-1. He fouls it off.
Pretty good swing.
Wasn't a bad swing at all.
That was a guy knowing, if I'm ever going to get a pitch to hit in my life, bases loaded, nobody out, 3-1, it was right there. And he's got another one coming now.
Rollins and Utley back up a little bit. And it's short in second. The 3-2 pitch. Ground ball, foul. Now that would have been the kind of play where Howard would have come home probably.
Yeah, if he's absolutely sure he has a play. If not, you know, you just wait there and tag the guy when he gets to first. But the point being, if you make a mistake on that play at the plate, then there's a run in and they're loaded, there's nobody out, and the top of the order's up. Just have to get an out here with a pitcher up.
Well, this is already the 3rd full count of the night for Kendrick. The pitch to him. Chopper to first. Howard has it. A fair ball. He's coming home. There's one. Kratz didn't realize that Howard didn't step on the first base bag.
Right.
At least I didn't think he did.
I don't think he did either. I think Howard
Dale Scott just signaled safe.
Right.
I did think for a moment that Howard was going to touch the first base bag and then come home. And I think Kratz thought the same thing, which is why he touched the base, touched the plate, and applied the tag.
Yeah, Kratz is making sure because he can't tell. Look how close he is. Well, when he jumped to get the ball, he jumped over the bag. Kratz isn't sure. So if you're not sure, put the tag on.
Fielder's choice. The putout goes 2-3, or I should say 3-2. And the top of the order is coming up. That's Altuve, who singled and scored in the first. Again, they'll set up for 2 up the middle.
3 full counts already in this game by Kyle, including that one to the pitcher. Plus that high pitch count. That's part of the reason.
One ball, no strikes, the count to Altuve. Castro, catcher, over at third. Martinez at second. And that pitch outside. It's 2-0. Decided to come with a changeup with the count 2-0. And Altuve just a little out in front of it. Think about Altuve. We mentioned it last night. He's only 22 years old. It's kind of interesting watching him take batting practice today and watching him field during BP at short, second, and third. Takes a fastball for strike 2. Good pitch. 2-2.
Well, it may have been at one point in his career where he thought his road to the big leagues was a utility infielder.
Kind of like Placido Blanco.
So play everywhere.
Runners lead off. It's it the opposite way. Gloved by Howard. There's one. Will they get two? Nope. Kendrick's not over there. The run scores. It's 3-0 Astros. Sure what happened on the play. It's always tough to turn a 3-6-1 double play anyway.
Especially with a guy who can run like Altuve can run. And Jimmy just holds on to it because there's nobody there. There it is. He does not go right away, and just that little hesitation cost him because it's, you said, Tom, it's a hard play, and the pitcher has to get over there and get under control. And he wasn't.
You know, I watched do it last night. I was watching some of the Tiger Indian game. Justin Verlander covered the bag on, play by Prince Fielder, and also a double play attempt. Just beautiful. Perfectly done.
Well, it's easy to say because we're up here, but that's the only place a pitcher has to go when the ball's hit to that side, is to go to first. But they get caught up in the game. They freeze, and if they freeze for a split second like he did right there, it's too late.
Want to know the count to Fernando Martinez. Runners on first and third. A run in for the Astros here in the second.
You go to spring training. A lot of fans love to come to Clearwater. They come early. They go to the workout phase, and they're over there, and they hear that "get over there, get over there," over and over and over in the morning drills. That's that play.
Did you yell it there?
Tried not to.
It's the changeup, and Martinez waves at it. It's 1-1. Martinez grounded out to Utley his first time up. He's 0 for 1.
25th pitch of the inning coming up. Real struggle for Kendrick tonight.
Well, if he can get out of this inning, allowing just the one run.
Right, as we were talking about when Rick Stubbe came out there. If you can limit the damage now, you figure bases loaded, nobody out, you're going to give up one. You get out of bases loaded, nobody out. That's the real Houdini act.
Another change up and another swinging strike. 1-2 the count.
Two of the best changeups he's thrown tonight. Pace not good tonight either. He may be getting those throwovers, but he's just throwing two outstanding changeups where he has this guy just baffled. You think you want to get after him.
Altuve goes. Pitch is taken for a call. Strike three. He did go right after him with a fastball. And he gets Martinez looking. The Astros do score a run, but they leave two. We've completed our first two. The Phillies offense going to work when we get back. time, go to the fan section for all the information. And please, Wheels, submit your answer on the subject line. The question is, Wheels, name the longest tenured manager in Astros history. The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning.
That's a good question.
It is a good question, considering we've talked about a couple of the previous managers.
Yeah.
Kevin Franzen will lead it off. Phils have some work to do. They're down 3 as we go to the 3rd. Franzen is 0 for 1. He grounded out his first time up, and he takes strike 1. Phillies have managed 2 hits so far. 1 in the first, 1 in the second.
Well, now the second time around against this guy, you know, a little bit better idea of what he's trying to do with you would think.
All right, I think I have it, Wheels. Ted Lilly. There's a little Ted Lilly in his motion.
Okay. I was thinking of a guy named Bob Nepper who used to pitch for them, but that was a long time ago.
No, I thought about him too.
He reminded me of him.
You know, Lilly goes over the head like that with his hands.
And that was the way Nepper pitched too. Pretty good left-hander. He was with the Giants also, and also the Astros.
It's 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Franzen.
Lilly's good. Don't see a whole lot of guys go over their head with their windups anymore. I mean, they're much more abbreviated.
Franzen whips it to left field. That's a base hit. Nice swing. 4-game hitting streak for Franzen. And Chase Utley's coming to the plate.
Here's this delivery that Tom was bringing up. You see the hands go up over the head and then back down. And you watch most pitchers nowadays, they really have very abbreviated deliveries as opposed to almost everybody used to go up over their head like that. And all the relievers that come into games now, they don't wind up. They just work from the stretch.
My thought is they try to simplify it because it's easy to repeat.
Right. And relievers do that because they spend a lot of their time in the stretch anyway. So I guess that's why they figure they come in starting the stretch.
Utley walked his only time up. Ball's in the dirt. Castro keeps it around the plate. 1-0.
Scoring this guy, they just get a better approach right now. He's going to give him pitch to hit.
Chase only played 10 games before the All-Star break, and his numbers, aside from the home run that he hit in his first appearance after the DL, his numbers weren't great overall. But since the break, since the Phillies came back, .262 with 8 home runs. Average is certainly better. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. The 13th left-hander the Phillies have faced in the last several weeks. They've won 9 of the last 12 games against lefties. And a part of that is because the guy over at first, and Kratz and Wigginton and Mayberry, and the fact that they've been hitting the ball so well. But it does make you feel a little better that the Phillies have done better work against left-handed pitching, even though Chase and Ryan have not really connected offensively against lefties. Utley chops it toward the right side. Altuve does get to it and makes the play at first. Well, that was another foot away from sneaking into right field and giving the Phillies maybe first and third with nobody out. Washington Nationals will spend Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the 25th, 26th, and 27th at Citizens Bank Park as the Phillies wrap up their regular season schedule at the ballpark. Order your tickets now for all 3 games, including Fan Appreciation Night on Thursday the 27th by going to Phillies.com. 1 on, 1 out. Ryan Howard, who popped up his first time up, will be the hitter. Ryan dribbles it to the right side. And there are 2 outs. So Howard's 0 for 2. Mayberry walked his only time up. He's coming to the plate. Swing and a miss. He was going after the first pitch fastball, but it tailed away at the last moment. It's 0-1. Richard Mayberry 4 RBIs in the first 2 games against the Astros. Lays off the 0-1. This guy's throwing a lot of pitches too. That's 52.
So I mean, he's given them chances here early, but they haven't been able to do anything with him yet. Not like he's out there getting ahead of everybody and putting them away with nasty stuff. Here's Brocail looking on. Behind, he's pitching behind hitter after hitter.
Well, if Mayberry can get on, Wigginton is on deck. If Franzen over at third. The count 3 balls and 1 strike to John. Cracked his bat, and the ball goes right back to the box. With a flip over to first. The Phils leave one over at third. We've completed 2.5 here in Houston. The Astros have jumped out to the early lead over the Phillies. Chevy dealer. Visit ChevyDealer.com. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospital. Call 1-800-JEFF now for an appointment. And by Nissan. Get to your local Nissan dealer for special offers or visit choosenissan.com. Here at Minute Maid Park, the home of the Houston Astros. The Astros are trying to stave off 100 losses for a second consecutive year, although it's going to be difficult. They are at 99 losses right now. So the Phillies fans enjoying tonight's ball game, including the cat with the Flyers hat. Things aren't going good for the NHL right now.
No.
And we go to the bottom of the third. Brett Wallace leads it off and takes a strike. It's 0-1.
As I said a while ago, it sent chills up the spine of us longtime baseball people seeing Don Fear in front of microphones again.
Ground ball foul. It's 0-2. Well, let's hope they get that settled.
That was never a good sign when you saw him on the air a lot.
I think hockey fans are feeling the same way. 3 hours and 42 minutes until the lockout. And no end in sight, it seems. The ball didn't come back enough. It's 1-2 to Wallace. That's Eastern time, by the way, Willis.
Yeah. It appears stalemate is in effect. That's what I read today.
Called strike 3 on the inside part of the plate. 3 strikeouts for Kendrick. 1 gone here in the third.
This is a little comeback sinker that he's been trying to get going a little bit tonight and hasn't been able to. Threw 2 real good ones to Wallace. Both of them strikes, both of them called.
Justin Maxwell, who homered his first time up, and his second at bat now against Kyle Kendrick. Maxwell's hit in 9 consecutive games now. He starts him off with a fastball. It's 0-1. Mentioned the Astros are trying to stop themselves from getting 100 losses for a second straight year. They lost a franchise record 106 games a year ago. They're at 99 losses coming into tonight.
Here's the home run. A 3-2 changeup just floated right over the plate and back towards the barrel, and he lined it out into the Crawford boxes.
Foul ball past Dave Clark. Ball 2 strikes. Here are the most recent 100 loss seasons. Now the top team, the Nationals, 2008-2009. If you're an Astros fan, that should make you feel good, because it means that it doesn't take too long. It doesn't seem like it takes too long to turn things around.
It also got them pretty good draft picks.
It did do that.
That they were able to sign.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Maxwell. And now time is called. Since expansion in 1960-61, there are 7 teams that haven't lost 100 games. 1-2 pitch outside, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kendrick comes into the line, and the pitch. And a called strike 3 right on the outside corner again. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kendrick. In fact, he has struck out 3 in a row. All 3 looking.
Yeah, he's starting to get a little better command of his pitches now. He really struggled in the first couple innings. There's that comeback sinker again. Started way off the plate, comes back over the outside corner and frozen.
Every time the Phillies retire the opposing team 1-2-3, which Kyle's trying to do for the first time tonight, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports, giving you all your favorite sports all year long. First pitch to Jed Lowry is taken low, 1-0. Lowry popped out to FRANDSEN, his only time up. Fly ball center field. This yard is huge out there, so Mayberry's venturing back to make the catch. Side is retired in order. Nice job by Kyle Kendrick to bounce back and get the Astros here at the bottom of the third. Swing line staplers, the most reliable staplers you can buy. From who? But W.B. Mason. 3 in the books. Phillies down 3-0. They're trying to get a little offense now. They only have 3 hits. They've also been walked twice. Dallas Keuchel, who is the starting pitcher for the Astros, has not been overpowering at all. And sometimes guys that aren't overpowering are the toughest to hit for some reason.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, for me, the guy should be able to have better at bats. If you haven't seen the pitcher, you got to take some strikes just to see a little bit of movement on the ball.
Well, Ty Wigginton will start off the 4th inning. Wigginton takes a strike.
Well, but you got to make an adjustment. Just can't swing to be swinging. And this is a type of guy that can frustrate you where you end up swinging a little bit too hard.
The appeal, no swing, says Dal Scott. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Wigginton. Wigginton flied out to center his first time up. 0 for 1. And it's 1-2.
Well, that's about the only pitch that he has. And these are the pitchers, I'm telling you, you got to really take the plate away because they're going to continue to throw the ball on the outside part of the plate. You want to take that away from him and make him throw the ball inside.
He doesn't look like he wants to go inside that often. He's going to go inside here. And Wigginton grounds it over to shortstop. And 1 away here in the 4th inning. And Dominic Brown is coming up. All right, so far 3 hits.
Yeah.
A couple walks. This is still a guy, though, that they can get to. But as you said, try to change the approach a little bit.
Well, you got to change the approach. I mean, when you're facing, a guy like this, and I know that they're trying to hit him, but we would be talking back in the day, don't hit him too hard because we need 2 or 3 more at bats. And right now, I mean, he doesn't have an exceptional pitch. Yes, every now and then, yeah, he's going to be able to win. But the fact is, they shouldn't be able to get guys out on this level without the ball being hit hard.
Well, he hasn't won a game since May.
There you go.
In the majors. Now he's won some games in the minor leagues, but he came into this ball game with a 1-7 record, an ERA of 5.35.
Yeah, notice some of the balls though that the Fighting Phils are hitting. He's making them hit his pitch, and they need to do it the opposite way and get some good pitches to hit.
Dominic Brown now with the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Every game is important, as everybody knows. It's gotten to that point in the year where the Phils have very little margin for error.
Well, I agree with that, meaning being able to go out and play and no mental errors, physical errors. already seen a couple of the mental errors. Thought one was a mental error there with Ryan Howard not tagging first base for me.
Brown checks. They appeal. Nope, says CB Buckner. And the other one being Kendrick not covering first on the ground ball.
Yeah, got over a little late.
Yeah.
I mean, he started a little late, and those are what I would call mental errors because he knows he should be over there.
Here comes the payoff pitch to Dominic Brown. And he stays alive. I think sometimes you know, as fans, I know I'm this way, you take for granted what Ryan did when players make that play where they touch the bag and then come home.
Right. Well, you have to see him and be on that same page. And normally, you just want to tag that base and, again, be able to get that force at home. You got the runner there at home, but you could have had 2 outs at that time.
Are you saying when he sees the ball chopped in the air, then he's got to get his timing set to be able to get to the bag and make the play?
Absolutely. One or two things. I mean, you're playing that in your head before that even happened. So, let's face it, on that ball, you'd like to be able to have 2 outs.
There's a walk to Dominic Brown, so with 1 out, a runner at first, and Eric Kratz is coming up. Kratz grounded out sharply to third. His only time up. He's 0 for 1.
Now take a look at this play here as it actually develops. Now, he's right now just thinking one thing, and that is really going home. And I think for me, he feels a little bit uncomfortable. You see how soft though the throw was? That's a throw that you want to be firm in going home. But more importantly, you have time to tag the base and then get that force there at home, which it would have been a tag play as opposed to the force play.
So you think he had time to put his foot on the bag and then fire home?
Oh, I do. I mean, but again, they're out there, and he knows whether or not he can make that play. But you're not going to get him with a soft throw like that.
Yeah. Stepping
on that bag and a firm throw home. I've seen Keith Hernandez do that. I mean, I don't know how many times, but you can't be afraid to make a mistake. And if you are, that's when you're going to run into some problems.
1 ball, no strikes to count to Kratz. And then Kratz floats it into left. It'll drop for a hit. Phillies have first and second. And Kyle Kendrick is coming up. Tonight on Sports Night, get highlights, analysis, and updates on this ball game, plus the Eagles' final preparations for the Ravens and the latest on the NHL labor situation as the CBA deadline is approaching. Get all the news Philly fans need to know on Sports Night after Phillies postgame live only on Comcast Sportsnet. Kendrick singled his first time up. He's probably up there to try to sacrifice the runners up into scoring position.
Yeah, bunting situation.
Sacrifice Brown to third, and then Kratz in the scoring position up to second.
I'd like to try and get something out of this inning by him bunting them over. If you can get both runners over. Jimmy Rollins, I've seen him twice already. Should have a better at bat.
Want to know the count. Kendrick squares. And the ball is bunted toward third. Barehanded by Dominguez. The sacrifice moves the runners up. And the putout goes 5-4 on the sack. And it gives Rollins a chance with 2 in scoring position.
It's about as good as it gets when you're bunting the ball. That's what you want. Third baseman to feel the ball. Kyle Kendrick making him feel it, bunting it hard enough, and that's exactly what you'd like to do. Once he gets high five, now we need a 2-out clutch hit.
Rollins singled his first time up, but then bounced out to third his last time to the plate. Phillies have left 5 so far. Trying not to leave any more here in the top of the 4th. Want to know the count.
be huge to at least pick up 1 run, if not 2. Start to put a little pressure on them. Type of pitcher you can almost let him throw the ball and still be able to catch up with it. You just got to take a longer look. That's his best pitch for me. The changeup, that pitch there at 75. Fastball he's been throwing has been high in the zone, almost surprising the hitter.
That's high 2, and it's 3-1 now to Rollins. Franzen on deck. 3 balls and 1 strike to Jimmy Rollins.
Well, you're doing this pitcher a favor if you're pulling the ball. You try and stay up the middle, right center if you can.
And ball 4, so the bases are loaded. That's his 4th walk of the night. He certainly has given the Phils a chance. Doug Brocal, the pitching coach, coming out again to chat with Keuchel. Although this is only his 2nd trip tonight. And 76 pitches through 4 innings, or with 2 outs in the top of the 4th. Follow the Phillies on social media for all the latest information about the team and its activities. Enjoy special activities and opportunities only available through our social media accounts. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Google+, Pinterest. Visit Phillies.com/social for a list of accounts. Kevin Franzen the batter, and he takes outside. It's 1-0. Franzen 1 for 2. He singled his last time up. Trying to break it open for the Phils offensively. And now you figure you could probably take a strike, right?
Yeah, you're just waiting him out. They've seen him, though, a few times. So, you know, you should have in your mind exactly what you're trying to do. Your game plan, what you're trying to do up at the plate. And that is really to stay up the middle.
Back toward the box, flag down by Keuchel. And for the 2nd time with runners in scoring position in the last 2 innings, he gets the hitter to chop one right back to the box. That's what Franzen did in this at bat. The Phils leave him loaded here at the top of the 4th. Bank, we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. By Toyota. Every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. And by AT&T. Rethink possible. Inside Minute Maid Park, the Phillies have left 8 so far. Might see some changes to Minute Maid Park in 2013. The Astros are entertaining thoughts to change a number of different things here at the ballpark as they go into the American League, including Towles Hill. There's a chance, Sarge, that hill will be gone next year. Now, whether that fence is still 436 feet away in center field, that's another story. But they are deciding now whether to take that out and just make it flat ground. I mean, it's obviously a gimmick of the ballpark. Yeah. Tal Smith, who used to be the president of the Astros, did it in honor of Crosley Field, the former home of the Cincinnati Reds, the stadium before Riverfront and before Great American Ballpark. Also in jeopardy is the train, which, if you've ever been to Minute Maid Park, if you've ever watched a game, that train has been up there since the get-go. And the reason is, you see how those signs are overlapping the train. Well, those signs are part of the advertising that has been added here at this ballpark. Dominguez chops it to short. Rollins throws in time. One away. The signs that are out in left center field are part of the community businesses that have helped raise $18 million to help baseball programs around the Houston area. So it'll be interesting when we do eventually come back here, whenever that is, to see the changes. A couple other things that are going on, not only here at Minute Maid Park out in center field, but also around baseball. For more on that, here's Murph. Murph, take it away.
All right, thank you very much, T-Mac. On Wednesday, President Obama ordered all public buildings to fly the American flag at half-staff, and Bud Selig mandated that all the same for Major League ballparks across the country. It's in honor of the victims of the embassy attack in Libya. U.S. Ambassador Chris Stevens was one of 4 Americans that was killed in that terrorist attack. So the flags will remain at half-staff until tomorrow night at sunset. So they're honoring them here at Minute Maid Park as well.
Yeah, people were wondering yesterday here at the park why the flags were half-mast, and that is the reason. And it's around baseball too. Very sad what happened in Benghazi. And if anybody saw the ceremonies when the bodies of the 4 Americans arrived at Andrews Air Force Base yesterday, it was a very moving ceremony, which included Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and President Obama. And Chris Stevens, who was the ambassador who was killed, was a very close friend of Hillary Clinton, and Secretary of State Clinton sent him to Benghazi. And it was a very, very moving ceremony. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count to Jason Castro, the catcher for the Astros. Castro singled and scored back in the second. Ball was outside, according to Dan Iasonia, and C.B. Buckner lets us know that Jason Castro did not swing. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, quick update of what's going on in Milwaukee. The Mets have retaken the lead. Daniel Murphy has scored a run. He has a couple hits again. 2-1 Mets over the Brewers. Brewers are half a game behind the Phils in the wild card. Line drive caught by Chase Utley. 2 outs here in the 4th inning. I didn't know if that ball was going to sink or if it was just going to take off as it left the bat.
Well, he ended up getting it and almost jumped a little bit too soon. Made an easy play out of this. Take a look at it. This ball hit like a bullet as he gets up. I take that back. That's a heck of a play as he catches that ball there to the side. And look how high he ended up getting up. That's perfect timing on a hard hit line drive.
Well, now Kendrick is 1 out away from working his 2nd straight perfect inning. J.D. Martinez, the hitter, and he takes inside. It's 1-0. You needed Kyle Kendrick to settle down, and he has since the 2nd. Now you need the offense to erase this 3-run deficit.
It hasn't been pitching bad. I mean, it's only 3 runs, but it just seems like an awful lot if you haven't been scoring runs. They've been scoring runs as of late. So, and I would think, especially with who they're facing, even if it is for the first time, that, you know, they're going to get him out of this ballgame. And that's by hitting and being able to score some runs.
That was a changeup that was up in the strike zone.
He's got to get those balls down.
Two balls, 2 strikes the count. Broke his bat. That looked like it was the cutter, and Kendrick will work another 1-2-3 inning. 1-3 on the putout, 7 in a row, make it 8 in a row. Retired by Kendrick. We go to the 5th here at Minute Maid Park. For 25 or more. Tours include visits to the dugout, the Diamond Hall of Fame clubs, and much more. Available year-round. For information or to schedule your group tour to see Citizens Bank Park, go to Ballpark Tours at Phillies.com. The Fanatic Dangle hat has made its way to Houston, Texas. Most popular item, Majestic Clubhouse store. Chase Utley will lead it off here in the top of the 5th inning. You feeling it this inning, Sarge? Is this the inning? You know, we used to say on radio, this is the inning you've been waiting for?
Oh, like you got to have really a little bit of a feel there for it. Yeah, this is the inning.
Is that because Chase was just hit by a pitch and started off?
Oh, boy.
He's aboard. Phillies have had a base runner, have had plenty of base runners tonight. They've left 8. Tony DeFrancisco may start to get the bullpen up at some point in this inning. Came out yesterday that he had his interview for the 2013 managerial position for Houston. Doug Brokaw was invested in his own calling card for the bullpen. Anyway, DeFrancisco was called Wednesday night late and said, your meeting is tomorrow morning. So at 6:30 he got up, got himself ready, came over to Minute Maid Park and had his 3-hour meeting with the front office. Didn't give him a whole lot of notice to get himself ready, but he said he was still pretty comfortable.
Yeah, well, a young club, and let's face it, he'll probably know the personnel better than anyone that's coming in, simply because he's been with these guys from spring training.
All right, now if you were a guy outside of the Astros organization, as Fick, or excuse me, Story starts to throw in the bullpen, Mickey Story, and you're looking for your first managerial job, and the Astros called, you would take it, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
0-1 the count to Ryan Howard. And Howard takes strike 2 on a breaking pitch.
It's not a strike there. It looked to be a little bit high. You know, and they've seen these guys. I mean, management, they know exactly what they have. I'm sure that they're meeting about what you're going to try and do to kind of turn the ball club around. Going to need some more players, and other than that, then they have to be patient with them, because you're not going to win with all the young guys that they have right now. So if they're in it for the long run, you know, they're going to ask them, hey, are you going to be here to stick with us? You know, are you going to bail on us later on? No one wants to lose. That's why I said yesterday for Larry Bohr that it would be a difficult ball club for him, because, you know, he likes to win. But not only that, he likes guys that can play smart, and you're going to go through growing pains with younger guys.
Chopper to the right side. Altuve goes to second and still gets Utley. Well, that was a gutsy play to get the lead runner, and a ball not hit that hard. Fielder's choice.
Well, without a doubt, that's their best player, him and Maxwell.
Well, Tony DeFrancesco, who is the interim manager, is from New York. He was the AAA manager this year. He's been in the big leagues as the third base coach for the A's. He spent 6 seasons as the A's AAA manager. He won 3 different Pacific Coast League titles, and was the manager of the year in the PCL in 2003.
Well, he has credentials.
The other guys they've interviewed: Bo Porter, Dave Martinez, the bench coach for the Rays. And they've had Larry Bowa in town, but they haven't specifically said that was to interview him for the manager's position. Now, whether there are other managers, candidates, whether Ryan Sandberg or DeMarlo Hale, the third base coach for the Orioles, whether the guys like that get opportunities to interview, we'll see. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, I kind of feel they need to go with just a younger manager. Well, the veteran managers, again, they're used to not only having things their own way, but having veteran players that can go out there and play. You wouldn't get a Tony La Russa that would come here and manage this particular club unless you're making household changes. But the younger guys that are trying to be a manager, you have to take it. I mean, you have no choice.
Well, I would agree with you on that. I've heard other people say, why would you want the job? And they said, well, if you want to be a manager, you want the job.
Wouldn't even think about it. Sure, you're going to take it.
It's 2 balls and 1 strike to John Mayberry. 1 out. Howard's on first. Balls hit to shortstop, and that's probably going to be 2. There's 1. And the Phillies' struggles offensively continue against Dallas Keuchel, the 24-year-old from Tulsa, Oklahoma, who's won just 1 big league game, has kept the Phils off balance the entire night. Chip brought to you by Citizens Bank. Have a baseball glove to donate? Take part in the Helping Hands donation program supporting the children of the Phillies Junior RBI League. Visit Citizens Bank, the Citizens Bank kiosk at Citizens Bank Park to learn more. Good banking, Sarge, never takes a day off. Citizens Bank is open all week, including tomorrow. Good banking is good citizenship. Last of the fifth. Phillies trail at 3-0. And the first pitch is over at the knees to Keuchel. He's 0 for 1. They appeal. No swings to C.B. Buckner. One and two the count. Outside 2-2. Kendrick has retired 8 consecutive hitters. Make that 9 consecutive hitters because of the 2 fielders' choices in the second. Now the 2-2 pitch. He broke his bat, and he's going to have his second major league hit. He's now 2 for 18. And here comes Altuve, who has an RBI tonight, a run scored, and a single. By the way, the Mets have increased their lead over the Brewers. That's good news. Mets now lead Milwaukee 4-1. That game is in the 4th. St. Louis and Los Angeles not underway just yet. Altuve bunts back toward the mound, and Kratz has to hurry and just barely gets him. Well, he nearly beat it out. I'm still surprised, though, Sarge, he would bunt, being their best hitter.
Yeah, in that leadoff spot, he's done a good job in getting a runner in scoring position. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's kind of kid there. You can hit that ball there in the gap. Small guy though, and that's bunting on his own. You can tell that. Looks like he really wanted to try and drag that ball there to the third baseman. It almost went directly to the pitcher.
He was looking to get a base hit out of that, but they do give him a sacrifice. It goes 2-3 on the putout. Fernando Martinez 0 for 2. He's grounded out and struck out. Change up high and away. 1 ball and no strikes.
I think really that's the way you should score that. I mean, the sacrifice is exactly what it is. You turn around and you sacrifice. Other than that, a lot of times guys will get sacrifices on trying to drag bunt.
Yeah, their thought is I'm trying to get a base hit, but if I don't, I'll get the guy up to second and it won't be a plate appearance.
Sure.
One ball, 1 strike to count to Martinez. 1-2 to count. With a foul ball, it remains 1-2 to Martinez. Popped him up, foul territory. FRANDSEN over toward the track, 2 outs. Back to second goes Keuchel. And Brett Wallace is due up for the Astros. That brings us to our Home Depot defensive play of the game. Sarge, take it away.
Yeah, little line drive or hard line drive as he gets up Makes an easy play out of it. There it is again. Very good athlete.
Home Depot doing more on defense. Chase Utley doing a little bit more on defense on that particular play. Wallace has struck out twice tonight. 2 of the 4 strikeouts that Kendrick has on the evening. Inside and low, 1-0. I think Kyle wanted that one. Kyle in his last outing struck out a career high 8. He did not allow a hit through the first 5 innings. He allowed 2 hits overall in 7 innings against the Miami Marlins. And tonight he has scattered 6 hits. And it looks like he's going to get a chance to get out of this, although this is a tough play. Rollins is over, so is Wigginton, and that's going to take a ground rule double, and it's going to score a run. 4-0 Houston. Wow. An RBI double for Brett Wallace. I spoke too soon. All of a sudden I realized that Wigginton was playing back and over toward the alley just a little bit.
Almost a little bit too deep, don't you think, dear? I mean, take a look as well. He is way back. See how far he has to come, and basically that's the left fielder's ball. That should have been caught. You know, where he's playing has no chance to be able to catch that ball there by the line.
Well, Wallace gets an RBI out of it, his 18th of the year, so it's 4-0 Houston. And Maxwell grounds this one over to third with 2 outs. The throw is low. Howard has to come off the bag, and everybody is safe. Well, this just is not a clean game at all for the Phillies. Rich Doobie's coming out. They'll score that E5.
Well, there it is again, that throw. He's been having a couple problems here with trying to throw the ball. Take a look at Wallace as he's going to stop.
He forgot the outs.
Yep. Didn't want to really. He still doesn't know the outs as he's going back to second base. But that's been maybe the only tarnish there for FRANDSEN has been his throwing.
Well, Dave Clark is not happy. He's the third base coach, and he thinks Wallace obviously should have been a third, but who knows where he could have been after that throw got away from Ryan Howard.
Yeah, but that throw kind of takes him inside there, FRANDSEN. So you're right, Wallace, he can just be sprinting and going around him. The throw is going to be the same. He's going to go to first base. Might have had a chance to score a run from there.
Lowrie's 0 for 2, and now a pickoff play is on, and he whizzed it right on by Wallace, who didn't realize it, and into center field.
Well, nothing appears to be working right now for them.
For who? Wallace or the Phillies?
Fight field.
You're right, though, Sarge. This is. They haven't played a game like this in a while.
Yeah, and still, too, some of those throws there at first base, even when they're bouncing. Now, I don't know whether or not Ryan would catch him, but I just know he'd have a better chance if he's trying to scoop with one hand. In all the years that I played over there in San Francisco with McCovey, I don't remember one time, other than maybe a pop-up, that he was catching any of the balls with 2 hands. Just makes it easier to maneuver your hands when you have one hand as opposed to the 2 hands.
Upstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike.
See that? Comes in just a little bit. Now, you know, to Wallace's credit, maybe he thought he was going to run right into an out.
Could have. He could have. I don't think so, but you're right. He could have. That ball's hit to the right side on one hop. Utley gets to it. And there's plenty of time to set himself, and the inning comes to a close. A run scores, though, on an RBI ground rule double by Brett Wallace. Astros leave a couple. They lead it 4-0. Brought to you by Ford. More IIHS safety picks than any other brand. Go further. Visit your Quality Plus Ford store today. By WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And by Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. 5 in the books. Rich Doobie chatting with Kyle Kendrick, whose night may be close to being over. It all depends on what the Phillies are able to do offensively to start the 6th inning, because his spot is due up 4th. It'll be Wigginton, Dominic Brown, and Eric Kratz. Lindblom is starting to throw. I thought Diekman was going to start the throw, but he was just throwing around the rosin bag a little bit.
Yeah, I think if you get to a spot, I mean, the way the game has been going, you almost have to go on and pinch hit for him, unless it's maybe a situation where he can butt some runners over.
Wigginton takes strike 1 from Keuchel, who has been teetering all night long. Phillies have left 8 so far, including the bases loaded in the 1st and the 4th. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, what a turnaround for the Brewers. They were down 4-1. They've scored 5 runs in their half of the 4th, and they're still batting. And Wigginton pulls that one down the left field line. He's on his way to second, and he'll be there standing with a leadoff double. And Sergeant, the Brewers can score 5, and the Phillies can score 5.
Yeah, they can score. Just need to start squaring up some of these baseballs. Yeah, you'll have a little bit better success, I'm telling you, if they can move up on the plate. You'll force him to throw the ball in. And if not, the ball that he throws away should be kind of almost middle for you.
Nicky Story's to the left, and to the right is Xavier Cedeno. Phillies with another base runner in scoring position. They're 0 for 6 right now with runners in scoring position. One ball and 1 strike, a fastball high.
If he makes him out, you want him to be able to pull that ball. And other than that, a deep fly ball can get a runner over. Even better, hitting the ball out of the ballpark. Used to be one of the loudest stadiums when you came here to play. Obviously, not having the players that they've had in the past. Biggio, Berkman, that group.
Bagwell, Kent.
Forgot Kent had played here.
2-2 the count to Brown. Now back to the box again. Third time tonight, the Phillies have hit one right back to the box. And here comes DeFrancisco. Time now for our Coors Light Freeze Cap. Bases loaded the last time. Keuchel is behind 2-0 to Kevin Franzen.
Oh, that was just a perfect play for him, coming right back to him. That's your Coors Light Freeze Cap.
Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Keuchel's night is done. He'll be lifted for a right-hander. It'll be Mickey Story who's coming in for the Houston Astros. Nice round of applause for Keuchel. So the Phils have had base runners all night. Maybe they can try to get one home against a different pitcher. This is an AT&T call to the bullpen. Positive conversations, at least it seems, over the last couple of days. This is a positive conversation right now with this 24-year-old left-hander, although he had to take him out here in the 6th inning with 1 out and a runner at second base. He probably felt like he was able to dance through some raindrops here tonight. He allowed just 5 hits. He walked 4, hit a batter, didn't strike anybody out. Only threw 11 first pitch strikes, but he's got a 4-0 lead, and now he turns it over to Mickey Story. Coming into his 19th ball game. His 18th game was pretty scary. Story was hit with a line drive off the bat of the Cubs' Dave Sapple. And it fortunately grazed something just a little bit, but still hit him in the face. It slowed it down slightly. He fires a pitch down low. It's 1-0. So he's missed the last couple of days. He said he was blacked out for just a moment after the ball hit him. And he was able to recover, and they're hoping there will be no residual effects. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Eric Kratz.
Yeah, a lot of times too, though, Tom, the pitcher will get a little bit gun shy. When you throw that ball on the outside part of the plate, that's the ball that usually will come right back up the middle. Greg Maddux was notorious for that, anticipating the ball coming up the middle. That's why he has so many of those Gold Gloves.
Here's the 1-1 to Kratz, and he hits that one just foul down the left field line.
And the balls that are inside, those balls are pulled, or the hitter will be jammed. Those aren't going to come up the middle hard at all. That ball that's down the middle, or maybe middle away and down, those are the ones that have a tendency to go back up the middle. A lot of times pitchers don't even have time to get a glove up. If you do, you're lucky.
And a called strike 3. Punched him out with a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. There are 2 outs here in the 6th. First strikeout of the night for Astros pitching, and Pete Orr is going to pinch hit for the Phillies.
Well, I tell you, just a pitcher's pitch. You can see exactly where it is. Could have been maybe a little low. Got plenty of plate. Too close, however, to take with 2 strikes.
So Kyle Kendrick goes 5 innings tonight. It's been a while since Kyle has lasted only 5 innings in a game. He's been so good, going so deep into games. In fact, it's been since the 8th of August. That was the last time he didn't go at least 6 innings.
Just didn't seem like he could ever get into his groove where he had everything going. Confidence, a change-up, you know, fastball in and out the way that he does, getting ground balls. A little help from his friends wouldn't hurt either.
Well, base hit here would certainly help. Now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Pete Orr. Orr hitting .313 overall, hitting over 300 as a pinch hitter. In the bottom of the 3rd, the Giants are shutting out the Diamondbacks 1-0. Buster Posey. We want to talk about a guy who is surging.
This guy can hit. He hits the ball to right center quite a bit. Can take the ball out of the ballpark.
Be out of play. And it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And this guy's, before it's all said and done, he'll be up there in that MVP vote. I mean, very, very soon.
Now, does he say nice things about you, being a fellow Giants Rookie of the Year?
Well, I mean, I'm in the fraternity. You know, I mean, it's.
Are you allowed to criticize him at all?
I mean, I criticize my own son if you're not hitting doing the job. It's not a popularity contest up here, you know. You got to tell it the way it is.
Or pulls it up the first base line, and it's rolling foul. And it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wigginton will go back to second.
Got to have everybody pull their own weight. You know, but a former Rookie of the Year like Posey, I mean, that's one of those things in common that you can talk about. Glad to hand the baton over to him.
Giants are currently 20 games over 500. They're 7.5 games up over the Dodgers. And they're well on their way to another National League West title. The count, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Pete Orr. And time is called.
Really don't know what he could be talking about at this particular point. Although this has been their MO throughout the series. They've had a lot of meetings on the mound. Catcher, pitching coach. Guess that's what you have to do when you have young guys.
Swing and a miss at a breaking pitch. Back-to-back strikeouts for Story. No runs, 1 hit. 1 man left in scoring position. Keuchel likes it because it preserves, well, right now is the victory if the Astros can hang on. moments of the year by the fans. That's right. Make sure you tune in before the start of the game between the Phils and the New York Mets. The fans' moments of the year. Good and some not so good. Look at the support he gets from his buddy, too.
Well, that's what friends are for.
Our fans' moments of 2012.
Oh, can't wait.
Get coming up prior to the game on Tuesday between the Phillies and the New York Mets. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 4-0. Astros on top. Sarge, whose autograph do you think that gentleman has on his hat?
I have no clue.
First pitch from Josh Lindblom is taken for a strike. I can't really make that one out either. Matt Dominguez the batter, and it's 0-2. Dominguez is 1 for 2. He's singled. He's also grounded out to shortstop. Lindblom in for Kendrick, who allowed 4 runs over 5 innings. He scattered 7 hits during those 5 innings of work. Josh is 3-3 this year at 3.36 earned run average. Outside 2-2.
I was asking Kevin Camasholi, who runs the video for the Phillies, about players coming and looking at video, especially when they haven't faced the guy. How many times or how long do they spend in there to look to see how the guy's pitching? And he did say plenty of time, and each guys are look at films their own selves. I mean, some guys will look at it, don't look at it anymore, and then some guys will continue to look at it even during the course of the game. But that's a video or situation where it's a part of baseball now, and it's going to be here forever. Guys, pitchers, and everyday players will go in there and look at the video to try and make sure their mechanics are right, see whether or not maybe they're pulling off of the ball.
Here's Castro, takes strike 1. Kevin Camasholi is on every road trip for the Phillies and is in the clubhouse with this very cool setup that's right near the dugout, and he does great work. Kevin is the manager of video coaching services for the Phillies.
Oh, that's the title.
That's his title.
Well, he says he's been doing it now 16 years. Pretty long time, though, isn't that?
Doesn't look like he's old enough to do it 16 years.
Oh, he's old now. Oh, yeah. He's got some gray in that hair.
Down the left field line. That's going to be a fair ball. And Castro will pull into second with a 1-out double.
I was just surprised, though, that it was that long or that many years that he's actually been doing it. And it gives you an indication. I mean, we looked at the video when we were playing, but I never actually like to go in and look at it to look at, you know, me striking out on the slider, this or that. I wanted to, you know, reinforce good thoughts. I'd go in there and look at it after I maybe hit a ball out of the ballpark or line drive.
Now, if you're a hitter, you'll look at this swing. If you're a pitcher, you look at the placement of the pitch, right?
Absolutely, and you can see how his head was down, though, on that, especially for you youngsters. I mean, you got to keep your eye on that ball if you're going to be a good hitter.
J.D. Martinez, 1 for 2, a swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Well, Kevin has a number of different computers with him on every road trip. It's kind of like a satellite office that he puts together downstairs.
Yeah. And just about every team has that.
And he has all these different angles of the pitches. You know, they have this one here, the center field shot, which is so pivotal to see the placement. That ball is lined just past Rollins, a base hit. Castro's going to score. It's 5-0 Houston. An RBI single for J.D. Martinez.
Wow. Well, nobody saw this coming, that's for sure. Especially Charlie as he's looking on. And, well, say what you want. Houston Astros have been an old nemesis for the Fighting Phils for a long time. That's just a solid line drive. J-Ro giving his all, diving, trying to get it. Here it is again there. It's a breaking ball, and you can see if he catches it, it's a double play, but the ball hit so hard.
Scott Morrow pitch hit for the Astros. And Moore whacks it foul. It's 0-1. Moore's a big guy. He's got some pop. 7 home runs and 21 runs batted in this year for the Astros. Cedeno's warming in the bullpen. The left-hander. 0-1 the count. And a breaking ball misses inside and low. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Houston Astros, they're playing with no pressure on them whatsoever. The only pressure they have is to try and keep from losing 100 ball games, and that's not going to happen.
Well, these two teams here are playing with a little pressure. The Cardinals have jumped out to a 2-0 lead over the Dodgers. Alan Craig is at a 2-run home run. That game just got underway. Up high, and it's 2-2. Now, they have no team pressure, Sarge, the Astros, but don't you think that the individuals feel pressure because they want jobs for next year?
I think the guys that aren't playing every day, and I think all their jobs are going to be up for grab, except for maybe second base and center field. There's probably a couple of other ones, but they're in a rebuilding situation. So all jobs, just about starting jobs there, relieving jobs. And you can't come to the Astros and if asked who's your superstar on that team, you'd have to say there isn't one at this particular time.
3-2 the count to Scott Moore. Ball 4 and runners on first and second with 1 away. And the guy that's probably the closest thing to their superstar because he was their all-star this year, Jose Altuve, is coming up with 2 on. Astros have the youngest team in Major League Baseball. The average age is just over 26. The Royals the same, the Cubs the same, but there's a little bit of a difference. They've played 11 rookies this season. That's a lot of rookies.
Yep. Got an interesting style of hitting. Doesn't pick up his foot at all. You know, and that's all preference from the hitter. You know, some guys will do it. Well, he just kind of turns his in, but he does get the bat back.
Right field, pretty well hit. Brown going out to the track, makes the catch. Runner tags from second. The throw goes towards second. And there are 2 outs.
Tell you, for a small guy, generates a lot of power. I mean, you hit a ball that far to right field and you're getting it on the warning track. Just missed from hitting the ball out of the ballpark. And again, that was the representative for the Houston Astros for the All-Star game.
Fernando Martinez hits a spinner out towards shortstop. And Rollins fires a strike to first. The Astros score a run. They lead 2. We go to the 7th inning here at Minute Maid Park, and the Phils have some work to do.
baseball is such a game of momentum, one way or the other. Sometimes it's going to be early, and I think the first inning was a big momentum swing in this game. Phillies didn't get anything when they had a chance to hit a guy they should hit. Astros got 2, and then another one in the second inning, and Phillies been kind of sleepwalking through this one tonight, and right now losing 5-0. Long way to go, but it's one of those games right now where there's just no energy.
Yeah, the Phillies do have 3 more at bats. They'll have to come from behind against an Astros bullpen. It's one of the worst in the National League, and Xavier Cedeno will take over for Mickey Story. Cedeno, left-hander, is up to face Rollins and then FRANDSEN and then Chase Utley. 0-1 in 37 games, an ERA of 4.50. Rollins is 1 for 2. And he walked his last time up.
They just need something to give them a little something to give them a little spark here.
Yeah, because as you said, Wheels, there's plenty of time. They're only down 5-0.
Lots of time. This one just has that sleepwalk feel to it right now, but it can change. You get a couple base runners, maybe such short dimensions in there. Somebody pop one.
Rollins takes a strike. It's 0-1. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, during this run the Phillies have been on, and as we mentioned, they're tied for the best record in baseball over the last 21 games with the Oakland Athletics. The Oakland Athletics. What a story they've been.
Yeah, they have been.
But during that run, they've had to come from behind. Now, a 5-run deficit, they have done stuff like this before. It'll be difficult, but they do have a chance. As Rollins try to push a bunt up the first base line. And one away. Kevin FRANDSEN is due up. Let's check in with Murph. Murph.
All right, T-Mac, time for the Gwynedd Mercy College Major League Notebook. The LA Dodgers have reportedly made a new commitment to their general manager, Ned Colletti. According to reports, the two sides have agreed on a long-term extension. Colletti is now in his 7th season as the GM there in Los Angeles. But this news, guys, will not make him happy. Word today that Clayton Kershaw, one of their starters, will miss his next scheduled start on Sunday because he is dealing with a hip injury, and now it is being reported that perhaps he will be out for the rest of the season. He's going to get a second opinion in New York City on his hip, but season-ending surgery may be in line for Clayton Kershaw. So not good news for the Los Angeles Dodgers, one of the teams that the Phillies are chasing in this wild card hunt.
Dodgers trail at 2-0 right now. That would be a killer of a loss for the Los Angeles Dodgers to not have their ace. Even though they acquired a guy like Josh Beckett, they acquired Joe Blanton at the trade deadline. Chris Capuano, who didn't pitch well last night, has done a decent job for them.
No way you come back quick from a hip operation or hip problems either. That's long term, especially a pitcher with all the torque involved.
2-0 the count to FRANDSEN with 1 out here in the 7th inning. And there's a strike. It's 2-1. FRANDSEN's grounded out twice, and he's singled in the 3rd. Over toward 3rd, a foul ball. Took a swing late just to try to stay alive. He thought this is too close to take. And it remains 2-2. These two teams will wrap up this 4-game series tomorrow. Jordan Lyles will make the start for the Astros, and Roy Halladay will be on the mound for the Phillies. Then the Phillies are off to New York, where they'll face R.A. Dickey, Matt Harvey, and then a pitcher to be determined on Wednesday night before they go home for their final homestand of the regular season. Two and two, the count to FRANDSEN. And he pops it up. 2 gone here in the 7th, and Chase Utley's coming up. Chase has been hit by a pitch. He's walked tonight, and he's grounded to second. So he's left it loaded in the 1st inning. They left a runner at 3rd in the 3rd. They left him loaded in the 4th. And left a runner at 2nd base in the 6th inning. 9 guys overall left on base.
Yeah, they had the starter in all kinds of trouble in the first few innings and not able to do anything. And then it started to get away a little bit after that.
Talk about this margin of error. There's just no margin for error at this point in the year. It's just, you know, it's unfortunate, but it's because of the way they were in the first half of the season.
Yeah, it's tough right now because you have so many other teams you're dealing with, and you run out of games.
1-0 the count to Utley. 2-0 the count to Chase.
And the thing about it, you go into a series, well, you got to beat this team, you should beat this one. It's still baseball. You still got to go out and do it. And there's so much involved in winning and losing games. And coming down here, I really felt, and talked about it, that this was a potential landmine coming in here. It always is, especially when you're playing a team like this. It really has nothing to lose at all, and it's quiet. You got to provide your own spark, and Hammond will do that.
3 balls and no strikes to count to Utley. And a strike on the inside corner. 3-1. Now, with all that said, Phillies still have 7 outs to try to get something going against an Astros team.
Exactly. And Jimmy tried to get it started by bunting, which was a good idea off a left-hander who's falling towards 3rd base. And he pushed it to the right side, but the guy made a pretty good play on it. He bunted it too close to it.
Well, Utley walks for the 2nd time. So Rollins will watch his good friend Ryan Howard's walk to the plate. And they try to get something going.
Well, these are the kind of guys right here that have to step up when you're in these kind of games and produce for you. Everybody knows that.
Ryan has popped out to short. He's grounded out to 2nd. And he's reached on a fielder's choice. Kale coming out to the mound to talk to his pitcher. Let me ask you something, Wills, your opinion on this. As the Astros move forward, I don't know who the pitching coach will be as they move forward, but do you have to pull back a little bit on all these trips? And I know it's a fine line.
Yeah, I would say yes, but you have to let them run the club the way they want to run them. But sure, you have to get to a point where you just let guys go and learn on their own. You don't have to keep running out there to remind them of everything. Or you have veteran catcher that can handle those kind of things.
I guess that's it. If there's a catcher that you can lean on a little bit. Want to know the count to Howard. And that curveball drops in for a strike. 1-1.
Well, you change the rule that they can only come out so many times a game. that could be a new rule change. Well, you're allowed 8 trips to the mound if you're the pitching coach.
Well, and everybody does it differently. I just wondered, and not that it's any big deal to anybody, but do you have to let the reins go a little bit?
At some point, yeah. This is just such a different situation. You're dealing with a team that's going to lose 100 games 2 years in a row. They're trying to find out about all kinds of different players. They're running guys in and out of town every day to be their manager. It's just there's a lot going on down here that they're going to have to sort out, Tom, and your point's good. That's one of them, about trips to the mound like that.
1-2 the count to Howard. And Ryan a swing and a miss. The ball gets away from Castro. And Ryan didn't realize that it was the second, or would have been a third out, so he can run. He just assumed first base was occupied. But it turns out to be a 2-3 put out on the strikeout. Time to stretch here in Houston with the Phils trailing it 5-0 to the Astros. His answer. You've had time to think about it. Here's the question again. Name the longest tenured manager in Astros history. You're going to have to wait because Josh Lindblom is ready to deal. As Brett Wallace takes high. All right, well, let's give us the answer.
Absolute
Educate
guess.
us.
Just, well, I don't know. I'm going to educate, but the guy that seems to me like he was here the longest, the guy that managed that great team in '80 the Phillies beat. I'm going to go with Billy Verdon.
Bill Verdon is correct. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans.
Wonder who number 2 is.
I would think Larry Dierker.
It's a good guess. I don't know. And that's not that long when you see Verdon's. What was it?
75 to 82.
Not a real long tenure.
I'm going to go Larry Dierker. I don't know the answer, but I'm going to go Larry Dierker.
Well, I'm sure someone will help us with that because we need a lot of help. There's Dirk. He was here last night working on radio. It was great to see him again. He's a longtime broadcaster in this time. Pitched at, I believe, age 19 for the Astros. Hard throwing right-hander.
Tonight they have that knuckleballer Steve Sparks who's working on radio for them. Along with Dave Raymond and Brett Dolan.
Oh yeah, Steve Sparks.
2 balls, 2 strikes the count to Brett Wallace. To start the bottom of the 7th. And a swing and a miss at a high breaking pitch. Second strikeout for Lindblom. Well, Wills, there's frustration for a hitter, and sometimes you just, no matter what you do, you're just not going to have success against certain guys. Look at Ryan Howard's reaction. He's basically saying, I'm not seeing the ball at all. And that happens for a hitter from time to time when you're just struggling against certain pitchers or, you know, in certain games.
Yeah, because you wouldn't think it's a background. Background's good here. It's very green out there. I never heard anybody complain about the background here, so I'm not saying that's what he means, but it's just something to throw out there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great shot. I think it's just, it's about sometimes a hitter's just struggling with certain pitchers.
Well, he's facing all lefties tonight, too.
Mm-hmm. The latest lefty that he faced, Xavier Cedeno, who struck him out to end the top of the 7th. Justin Maxwell, the batter, towering pop up. Whoa, that one is way up there.
That's a home run hitter's pop up.
There are 2 outs. 2 away. Jed Lowrie is coming up. Washington Nationals will finish up the regular season schedule at Citizens Bank Park on Thursday, September 27th. It is Fan Appreciation Night. Order your tickets now at Phillies.com. All fans coming to the ballpark will receive a 2013 Phillies schedule magnet. Plus, there are usual prizes and surprises that will be given out during the course of the game. Now with 2 outs, Lowrie will take strike 1. Diekman is in the bullpen. Lowrie's 0 for 3. He's popped out, he's flied out, and he's grounded out. And Hector Umbres is warming in the bullpen for the Astros. The 0-2 pitch to Lowrie. And the ball is pulled through the hole on the right side.
A bit of a hanging breaking ball.
The pinch runner Tyler Green's going to come out and pinch run for Lowrie over at first. And Matt Dominguez will come to the plate. Outside, 1-0 the count. Dominguez has a single tonight. He's also grounded a shortstop, but he is struck out. Oh, he had him leaning.
Right there, as Tom says, he had him lean a little bit, and got his hand back.
1-0 the count to Dominguez. Runner goes, and the pitch is hit foul into the Astros dugout. And Tyler Green will go back to first. And now time is called. Castro, the catcher, is on deck. You figure Diekman will come in to pitch to him if Lindblom is not able to get the current hitter, Matt Dominguez. Milwaukee's added to its lead. They scored 2 more runs now in the 5th inning. So they lead the Mets 8-4.
They've been a really hot home team. The Mets beat them last night, right? Yeah, they beat them at home last night.
Yeah.
And the Brewers have been tearing it up at home.
They've just come to life offensively.
Yeah.
Ricky Weeks, Corey Hart. Over to second. This should do it for the inning as Utley gobbles it up. And a throw over to first. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. 2 innings of relief for Josh Lindblom. On to the 8th inning we go. The Phils trailing it 5-0. By McDonald's. Now at McDonald's, any size soft drink or sweet tea is $1. By the Pennsylvania Lottery. Play The Price is Right, the new instant game for the Pennsylvania Lottery. Must be 18 years or older to play. Please play responsibly. And by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. Well, it's a nice night outside. The roof is closed because there were some threats of thunderstorms. Tyler Green, all wide-eyed and ready to go. Stays in the ball game to play shortstop.
Put a lot on that throw, didn't he?
Hector Ambriz is the new pitcher for the Astros. Second time he's been in this series. He's 1-0, 5.59 ERA. Now that he'll face Mayberry, Wigginton, and Brown.
Now the Story got in here tonight. We've seen them all, right?
Yes, we have seen them all.
Yeah. 10 of them. 8 right-handers and 2 lefties. With a game to go.
I think there's a chance we've seen everybody on their roster, except for Marwin Gonzalez.
I don't think they'll have him work call-ups while we're here. Well, I should say that.
They might. Their single A team was involved in the playoffs.
So. You're right. That's a good point. I saw that in the paper today. They have a Delano DeShields Jr. playing for them, huh?
Big prospect for them. John Mayberry will lead it off, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Lance Nix is out on the on-deck circle for the Phillies. Mayberry is 0 for 2. No lefty warming up in the bullpen, so Nix will get a chance to bat. Outside, 1-1. One is hit foul to our right, and it shoots back downstairs. I think there was a chance that LA would have caught that ball if it went into the booth.
Well, let's put it this way: it was right above him, and the answer I would say is no.
He's pointing right now to the spot that it was, where it was,
and he was happy that it was up there. Made quite a crash, didn't it?
It sure did.
Sound like those balls hitting the scoreboard. BP.
2-2 pitch to Mayberry. Checks the swing. 3-2. No appeal from Dan Iasonia. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Baltimore is leading Oakland 2-0. How about the new life that Nate McLouth has assumed? He's now the 3-hitter for the Orioles.
Never know, do you? How about those two teams, period?
It's like old school baseball, Wheels.
Well, they won 13 extra inning games, the Orioles.
And a whole bunch of one-run games.
I saw one of the stats. Maybe I'm just. Have you heard about the Titanic? But I saw it in the
whose artifacts are on display here in Houston.
Is that right?
Yeah.
They were in St. Pete at one time. All right. Anyway, the Yankees are 0-58 when they trail after 8 innings. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
I saw that in the paper today.
I would be surprised, but I wouldn't say it's wrong. They would catch me off guard.
Well, it was in the paper. I think I got it. I'm still an old newspaper guy. I read the newspapers.
Well, I'm going to go to the Cloud. I read the newspapers also, but I did not see that today.
I have that same computer as you, and I still don't know what the Cloud is. You're going to have to show this to me.
It's just.
I just know it's something we're going to go through on the way to New York tomorrow.
Yeah. Yankees are 0-58 when trailing after 8 innings.
Hello.
Ground ball toward the hole. Diving stop. Dominguez jumps to his feet. Not in time. Mayberry beats it out. A leadoff single here in the 8th.
Well, after I said that to you, I thought, well, you've either heard that or going to think I'm nuts. So it was the latter. That ball took a big hop when Dominguez on the throw when Dominguez threw it, and that's what allowed John to beat that. He makes a heck of a play here. If this is a little bit, if he gets lucky and the hop is lower and faster, he's got him. But watch it, boom! It goes straight up in the air there, and just that little bit of time allowed him to beat the play as he hustled down the line. 0-58. Now you would think the Yankees even would be one of those teams that won some games late.
Yankees are the only major league team winless when trailing after 8 innings.
Well, I really gave you a nugget, didn't I?
That's Nix takes a strike. It's 0-1.
That's one of those pearls.
I think 0-53, Wheels. Does that sound better? 0-53?
It could be. Yeah,
it's 0-53.
It's a large number in the 50s, which is a lot.
53 is a large number.
Yes. I know it was one of those ones that's got to be a typo. See, because it was in the newspaper.
Right. Well, if it was 58, it was a typo.
Yeah.
Nix hits one to shallow center. Tyler Green is there. One away here in the 8th inning. Well, John Mayberry goes back to first. Comcast Sportsnet has total coverage of the Eagles' home opener against the Ravens. Before the game, former Eagle Leonard Weaver joins Michael B., Ray Dittinger, and Ed Rendell. Eagles pregame live. That's this Sunday. That's tomorrow, starting at noon only on Comcast Sportsnet. Wesley Wright is in the bullpen for the Astros. Dominic Brown, the hitter. Brown is 0 for 2. He walked in the 4th. Fly ball to center field. So after the infield single by Mayberry, Humphries is able to get the next 2 hitters with some quickness. 2 outs here at the top of the 8th. Tomorrow when the Eagles do open up against the Ravens, you can stop by and watch the pregame show. They'll be on site at the Link. You want to bring some treats for Michael and former governor? Might not be a bad idea. Kratz takes low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Governor doesn't go after as many treats as he used to. He admits that. I read that in the newspaper. What a good guy he is. Known him, Ed Rendell, for so long.
1 ball, no strikes, the count to Kratz.
He does a heck of a job on that show, right?
He's funny.
Well, he's a fan.
He's a fan.
and Eddie, excuse me, Governor Rendell has always been a fan, no matter when you were around him.
Yep.
He
that
had
is so true.
Very strong opinions. He's got that combination of New York and Philly in him, and that will always give you strong opinions.
1-1 the count. Mayberry leads off first. Foul ball. Nick Shearholtz down on deck, hoping to get a chance to bat here in the 8th inning for the Phillies. Diekman is warming in the bullpen. Kratz lets it go by. It's 2-2. Eric had a single in the 4th. Phillies have 6 hits tonight. And they've also walked 5 times, and they've been hit by a pitch. Now the 2-2 pitch coming to Kratz. Over to third. Dominguez throws high again to second, but Altuve didn't let it frazzle him whatsoever. Comes down to the bag. 5-4 on the put out. And that's it for the top of the 8th. We go on to the bottom of the 8th. take on the Atlanta Braves. All fans 14 and under will receive the Cole Hamels action figurine, courtesy of Total Performance Engine Oils. Tickets are available for that ball game and for the 3 games against the Braves by going to Phillies.com. There's Cole, who picked up his 15th win last night against the Astros. And there's the figurine. It's something you haven't seen much of, something like that.
It's a change-up grip, huh?
That is the change-up grip.
Pretty good.
Same style glove that Cole has. There's Jake Diekman on the pitch, the bottom of the 8th inning. Josh Lindblom went 2 innings. He allowed a run on 3 hits. Now Diekman. Lance Nick stays in the ball game to play left field. Five nothing Astros. High chopper to first, a foul ball. Castro tonight has doubled, he's singled, and he's also lined out to second. It'll be Castro, JD Martinez, and then the pitcher spot for Houston. One ball, 1 strike to count. Well, as I mentioned before, that Towles Hill may be out of here next year. And they may bring in the center field fence. I would keep the center field fence where it is.
It's deep.
It would be deep.
So they're going to have to put the flagpole back. Will they take that out of play?
Well, if they move the fence, they said they don't have to. They have to decide that. I don't know how, if the flagpole goes all the way down to the ground, how far down it goes.
So that baby's in. That's in play right there.
Part of the reason why they want to take it down is because they're trying to change the image of the club. And they're doing even some little things to change that image because they're going into the American League. And you know, some folks wonder if it's a detriment to the players. Possibly they can get injured, although it's been here since the beginning.
Yeah. Well, there's probably not a whole lot of action on that hill. That's pretty far. I've seen highlights of guys running up that hill and falling, and other guys running up that hill and making catches. Does add potential for some excitement to the game. But if there's an injury thing involved, then you really wouldn't want that.
That's the thought. And the other part of it, too, is the 436 to center field.
Yeah, that's deep. Well, one time at Connie Mack Stadium was 447 at dead center. The old parks, the old ballparks, had some of these really deep center fields. Forbes Field had a real deep center field, too, with a batting cage out there in Pittsburgh.
Fly ball to left, and Nix makes the catch.
And, it wasn't real deep at Connie Mack Stadium in left and left center, real deep in center until they moved it in. And then the big high wall in right field, 29, 30 foot high wall. Scoreboard.
Nowhere else in baseball do they have anything like that.
Well, Yankee Stadium had some incredible dimensions deep in the outfield.
Right, and they had the monuments, the 3 monuments that they originally had that were out there.
The old Yankee Stadium, really deep in center. Left center, too.
JD Martinez swings and misses the first pitch. Yeah, I think the problem would be if they moved the fence in, even if they made it 420, it would still be a shot, but left center field, and part of right center field is what is the fairest part of this ballpark because it's short and left, and it's kind of short in right field. Dominic Brown got a good jump on that.
The pitchers probably love that 436 out there.
2 outs.
Especially when it's only 315 down the line and left. Right. Gives them somewhere to get outs.
Brandon Laird will be the pinch hitter.
See that shallow area down there. And the reason it's so short down there is because they had to fit this into a piece of property. They had a lot of problems getting this ballpark built here when this was finally built. They need to get out of the Astrodome.
And they needed a retractable
They needed a roof, and they needed a piece of ground that they could build it on. And they found this, but they had to cut some areas short.
Outside, 1-0 the count.
There's a big building out there behind left field.
Oh, the count to Laird. Laird is a 200 hitter. Spent most of the year with the Yankees in their AAA, with their AAA affiliate in Scranton. Although they didn't really play in Scranton, they were playing all over the place. They didn't have a home field.
Right.
As they redo Lackawanna County Stadium.
Seemed that long ago that was new, and the Phillies were moving in there to play.
To right field, Dominic Brown again on the run. And it's a 1-2-3 eighth inning for Jake Diekman. So the Phils have one more chance, down by 5, trying to make it a well of a comeback when we return for the ninth. For a complete recap and highlights of this ball game, plus former Phils pitcher Ricky Bottalico will offer his insights on what Kendrick did tonight against the Houston Astros, what the Phils offense has been able to accomplish. Watch Phillies postgame live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance, coming up after the ball game. Changes for the Astros. In right field, Brian Bogusevic takes over. In center field, Brandon Barnes will take over, and moving from center field to left field is Justin Maxwell. And the new pitcher is left-hander Wesley Wright, who's on to face the number 9 hitter, which will be Carlos Ruiz, who will pinch hit, then Jimmy Rollins and Kevin Franzen. Wright's numbers 1 and 2 with an ERA of 3.33. Barnes will bat second, and Bogusevic will bat 8th for the Astros. Pitcher spot is still the 9 hole. So Carlos Ruiz will lead it off. Carlos has had himself a heck of a year. He'll probably be behind the plate tomorrow. Charlie said today that Carlos was fine. He said he wasn't limping around. His foot wasn't bothering him after last night's game, where he ran the bases well. Whether tomorrow is the starting point for Carlos to then catch more consistently, I think you have to wait and see how tomorrow, if he is in the lineup, how he is after that ball game.
Yeah, they still want to be careful with him because of that painful foot problem.
One and one the count to Ruiz. In the air to left center field. Maxwell on the run, in the well, and he makes the catch. Another foot or 2 or 3 to Maxwell's right, and that ball was into the seats. But instead, it's just a long out. He hit it well.
He got it way up in the air now. There you see Maxwell, as Tom says, back into that area, well area. The Crawford boxes end right there where you get the real cheap home run. And if it would just come down in there, you got one. But no, it came down in that other area.
Rollins takes low, 1-0.
That's about 360 feet out there.
Tomorrow, Jordan Lyles, he's right there. Number 41 for the Astros. Will start for the Astros against Doc.
Saw him earlier this year in a game at home that the Phillies won on a walk-off by Hunter Pence in the 10th inning off Brett Myers. He threw home run balls in that game to Brian Schneider and to Pence. He's only what'd you say, 21, 22? I think he's 22. He's very young. He's one of the guys they like and hope is part of their future.
Wheels, he is 21. Yeah. He'll be 22 in October.
Pretty young.
Altuve throws out Rollins, so the Phillies down to their final out here in the 9th inning.
You think of the way this baby started out tonight, that they have a chance to be shut out. It's almost, as Charlie would say, unreal. That's kind of the way the season's been going. Yeah. This is just one of those nights that part of the frustration of this season. When I say the way it started out, people weren't tuned in. They look like they're going to run that kid right out of here.
That's going to be like last night.
Yeah. Didn't happen.
He was not overwhelming with what he was able to do stuff-wise, but he was in his results.
Yep. He walked 4, struck out nobody.
And hit 1.
Hit 1, gave up 5 hits and no runs. It's hard to do.
Want to know the count to Franzen. And there's a strike, 1-1. One ball, 2 strikes now to Franzen. Boy, did he fire that one foul late.
That was an emergency swing.
Phillies haven't been shut out since the 2nd of August. They've only been shut out 5 times this year. Once since the All-Star game. 2-2 the count now to Franzen. Just 1 time since the All-Star game.
But they were shut out twice in April, once in June, once in July, and once in August.
To the count.
So we're trying really hard to reverse black cap this so that it's not a shutout.
You got a way to reverse black cat it to make it a 6-run 9th inning.
It's tough with nobody on base. Need to start something. Nobody on base and 2 strikes. That'd be a heck of an inning, wouldn't it?
Well, it would add to the excitement of September for the Phillies.
Be some serious drama.
Three balls and 2 strikes to Franzen. He's found a couple pitches off. Staying alive. Wright will stay in with Utley and Howard due up next. Over to third. That's a fair ball down the left field line. FRANDSEN will get to second. So there's your base runner wheels to get it rolling here in the 9th inning. It would be a heck of a story. Yeah. A 2-out double for FRANDSEN. Utley's coming up. FRANDSEN with his second hit of the night. Utley has been on base 3 times. He's walked twice. He's been hit by a pitch.
That's the thing about Chase. Even when he doesn't get hits, his on base percentage. There you go. Refuse to lose.
Let me tell you, whoever wrote that has outstanding handwriting. They just spelled it a little incorrectly.
I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go there.
Maybe it's lose.
It looked really nice, but I didn't want to go to the spelling part. We make enough mistakes.
Well, that is true. 2 outs for Utley. He's almost hit again. Phillies are 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position.
But the penmanship was outstanding.
Really, very nice.
The old Palmer method we taught in grade school at St. Annie's and Anastasia's.
Utley takes a pitch inside. It's 2-0. Howard's on deck.
They came here to see a win, and they're not giving up.
Yeah, that guy had an Eagles jersey on underneath his Phillies jersey last night. 3-0 to count to Utley.
You see great at bat as Ryan Howard waits on deck by Chase Utley here. He just knows how meaningless his run is right now. He's just trying to get on to keep an inning alive. He hit a 2-run home run. That's almost a rally killer.
To the count. Chase just trying to get on base there.
Well, he knew both those pitches were strikes. Something that Iasonia didn't.
The runner at second, the count 3-2 to Chase Utley. And Chase hooks it toward the right side, knocked down by Wallace. His throw is in time, and the ball game is over. The Houston Astros have won it tonight by a final of 5-0. It's only the 6th time this year the Phillies have been shut out, and it's only the 2nd time since the All-Star break. So the Astros have taken 2 of the first 3 from the Phillies in this series, as they win it 5-0 tonight in front of a crowd of a little more than 20,000 here at Minute Maid Park. Well, our Chevrolet player of the game, sounds strange to say it. We didn't think this would happen after the first inning, but Dallas Keuchel, the starting pitcher.
Yeah, his 2nd major league win. He pitches 5 1/3 innings. Phillies had him in trouble. The bases loaded twice in this game, as he gave up 5 hits, a hit, batter, and walked 4. But to his credit, he made pitches when he had to. Got a double play ball there. Got a couple of comebackers. He's very nimble fielding the balls hit back at him. Did a good enough job, and he winds up as a winning pitcher, and more importantly, our Chevrolet player of the game.
So the Phillies will try to even up this series before they head to New York tomorrow afternoon. They lose tonight 5-0. We'll be back to talk some more about it right after this.